see the work they're doing with scientific crossbreeding. It's fantastic. They've got a couple of Brahma bulls.
Easy, boy. You're on vacation from college. You haven't stopped yammering ever since you got off that train.
Sorry.
Now, don't pay any attention to him. He's just jealous because he knows absolutely nothing about scientific animal husbandry.
Poor old Nick, just a poor old cowpoke.
Tengo una sed. Oye, vamos a beber aquí algo. Que no se te caiga. No, ¿cómo se va a caer? A ver. Que no se te caiga, José. Ah, cuidado, Mariano. Que no se te escape.
Mariano Montoya,
Barkley, 4 years ago you gave me a calf. This is not the same calf, but neither am I the same man. I now repay you with deep thanks. Muchas gracias!
All right, college boy. Take him outside and tie him up. Scientifically. Come on, get.
Cuidado.
Mariano, you old bandit. Oh, almost forgot. You know my brother Jared?
Senor.
Mariano, good to see you.
Brother Heath.
Senor.
Hello, how are you? Where have you been?
What are you doing in Stockton?
I'm an owner now. I have a herd. I drove them all the way from Mexico.
A herd?
See, that calf you gave me was a beginning. Now I have 93 head.
Well, then, 92 must be stolen. You were no good when you left Amigo. No reason to believe you've changed.
Oh, now, come on, that was pretty unfair, Sheriff.
Well, maybe, Nick. Maybe it was. We'll see.
Hey, Mariano. Yeah. Let's ride out and take a look at that herd, huh? Hey, I want to see the herd. Come on.
Okay.
Come on, Jared. All right, college boy. Let's go take a look.
Yes, sir, cowpoke.
Well, I might have done something very bad to that sheriff if your brother Nick hadn't stopped me. He's a good man, your brother Nick.
Well, that sheriff called you a thief. That's a pretty hard word.
Yeah, he called me a thief once before, a long time ago. He caught me with a Barkley calf, that sheriff, and he brought me to your brother Nick and asked him to press charges against me. Well, Nick, you know what he did? He looked at me a long time. And then he said, "Did you steal it?" And I said, "No, I found it in some wire. I was bringing it back." And he says, "I believe you." Then he bends down and picks up the calf and hands it to me and says, "Here, now you have one calf. Go and build it up into a herd." And then he turns around and walks away. Did he ever tell you about it?
No. No, he never mentioned it.
Well?
Fine, but you're going to have to fatten them up.
Oh, yes, I drove them pretty hard, 15 miles a day.
15? That's moving. No complaints from your men?
Oh, my vaqueros and I, we are all partners. I couldn't afford to pay them wages. Besides, I hear the cattle ranches are overstocked this year. We wanted to be the first ones to market to get a good price.
Well, you got here with time to spare. The market doesn't open until next week. Give you a little time to fatten up your herd. All he needs is a good pasture.
You can have our north pasture. We're not using it.
Oh, I thank you, but I've already accepted too many gifts from the Barclays. But would you consider renting the North Pasture to me for a week?
What should we charge? You know, we really could hold him up.
What would you say to, penny an acre?
What?
Penny an acre. Well, that sounds reasonable. If you draw up an agreement, I will sign it tonight.
Jared, you're the lawyer.
Bueno. And now, on behalf of my vaqueros, I would like to invite all of you and the rest of you members of your family to a fiesta this evening to celebrate the end of our drive. We will roast a steer, provide singing and music.
One condition. We furnish the steer.
That is acceptable.
Well, you want to try it, big brother?
Now that you ask, no, little sister.
Ladies and gentlemen, senores y senores, we are celebrating tonight an end and a beginning. The end of a long cattle drive and the beginning of a new life for the men who made that drive. My men and I, we are, by profession, well, to be honest, we are just ordinary laborers, vaqueros. But we have earned by that long drive a chance, a real chance to be true rancheros. Those of you who have wives and children know what this means to our families who are waiting for us in Mexico. When we return, God be willing. A few of you recognize me from 4 years ago when I left this beautiful California valley where I grew up. And in those days you said to yourself, Mariano Montoya, he will come to no good end. He is a bad one. No, es cierto. Oh, sí, it's true, I was. Well, if not a bad one, then not such a good one. Maybe a halfway between one, eh?
Like the rest of us, Mariano.
No matter. You are looking at a very lucky man. I will be in prison tonight, but I am not in prison. I was given my chance. And tonight, I would like to express my deep gratitude to one man and to the lady who raised him to be such a man. Senora?
Oh.
Ole, senora.
Amigo.
Oh, Mariano. Gracias.
Speech.
No speeches. Mother, if you will, huh?
Friends, amigos, relatives. First, let me thank Senor Montoya for a truly exquisite gift. It will always remind me of the day he came back to his hometown and made good. And now, since I feel it's a sin to make speeches when we could be listening to music and dancing, unless Nick would...
Now, the only time he makes speeches is when he's mad.
Well then, musica, danza.
Senora, will you honor me with this dance?
You call that dancing? It's more like a steeplechase. Why don't I show you around?
Your cattle are magnificent, senora. Maybe someday.
Why not? You've made a wonderful beginning.
Gracias, but... Maestoso.
Senor Montoya, I would like you to meet Prince Oxford, the sire of the Barkley herd.
Senora, tell me, this would be an improper question, but one day it might not be an impossible dream. Maybe I could own such an animal. Tell me, how much would...
Oh, we've been offered $10,000 for him, but we turned it down.
And I dare dream of such an animal.
My husband had no more than you when he started.
Si, senora. But your husband was not a thief.
Neither are you.
But I was. You knew I was stealing that calf.
Mariana.
No. Perhaps Nick believed me, but you always knew.
Now, you listen to me. Do you know why I kept quiet? Because it was plain you wanted to be a man more than you wanted to be a thief. All you needed was a chance to prove it.
So you gave me that chance.
And you proved it.
Caporal. Senora, can you come to the cattle?
Why?
You are needed.
Will you excuse me, senora? Thank you. Thank you for your trust.
Ah, there you are. May I have the honor, lovely lady?
Of course.
Anthrax.
It is not anthrax. It is trail fever. Bury the animal and say nothing to nobody.
You, looking for something to do?
No, I got plenty to do.
Want to borrow this brush?
No.
You got something to say?
Been out to Mariano's herd lately?
Not since I showed him where to pasture. Why?
I don't know. There's something funny going on out there.
Like what?
One of our hens counted Mariano's herd this morning.
What?
Thought he was our guest.
All right, just how many of our cattle has he stolen?
Not a single one.
I hope that satisfies the loyal hands around here.
Look, Nick, I like Mariano, too. Now, you want to hear about this thing or not?
Go ahead.
Well, Mariano came here with 93 head, right?
Right.
He babies every one of them. Every one of those steers at an entry in a bank book to Mariano and his men. Is that it?
That's it.
This morning, there's only 91 head in the pasture.
Could be a break in the fence.
All around the pasture. Fence is taut. No breaks or slacks anywhere.
Here, this is the best I can do with this. Heath, come here.
Another one.
Yes. Caporal, it is anthrax. It's in the pasture, in the wind. It is the miasma which kills our cattle. The men want to move out now before more cattle are killed.
Who is Caporal? Is it he or me? It is not anthrax. It is trail fever. There is always trail fever after a long drive. Look at the herd. They're healthy. Look at them. This is our entire future, yours as well as mine. The cattle buyers do not arrive in Stockton till Monday. Tell me, where? Where will we move our cattle till Monday? Where will we fatten them for market?
Caporal, you're wrong. There's a miasma in this pasture. It is giving anthrax to our cattle. We must move them out at once before they all die.
It is not anthrax. You understand? Not anthrax.
You fellas going somewhere?
Perdón, señor. No hablo inglés.
¿Dónde está Mariano?
Ah, Mariano, el caporal. Pues no está aquí. Fue al pueblo.
Ah.
Buenos días, señores. Buenos días. We've never had the honor of having you visit us before, senor. How are you?
Well, we thought we'd drop by and see how you're getting along.
Fine. Thank you. Everything's fine.
Planning on leaving?
Leaving, senor?
I saw one of your men loading up bedrolls.
Oh. Well, Mariano heard there was a buyer in town early today, so he went in to find out. He gave me instructions to have everything ready just in case he made a fast deal.
Haven't had much chance to fatten up your cattle, have you?
No, that's true. Well, we thought, Mariano thought that if we market early, we would make up the difference with a better price.
What's that all about?
Who?
Oh, Diego. Can you imagine? He actually believes that he's influencing the price of cattle with all that foolishness.
You're sure he's not trying to drive away evil spirits?
Evil spirits, senor?
Disease.
Rico, are any of your cattle sick?
Sick, senor? Why, whatever gave you that idea? Look at them. Do any of them look sick to you?
Not the ones I can see, no.
What are you suggesting, senor? Señores. Señores, without Mariano's permission, I cannot permit you to.
Anthrax.
Yeah.
It is not anthrax. It is trail fever. A few cattle die from it after every drive. You know that.
Why didn't you tell us about it? Why were you planning to move your herd out before we found out?
I want to see Mariano as soon as he gets back. And don't move a single animal through this gate. I want you men to check every foot of fence in that north pasture. Don't let a single animal get out.
They're moving the cattle out. Now.
All right, let's go.
And we better break out the rifles.
All right, break out the rifles and ammunition.
Sure.
Rico tell you I wanted to see you? You weren't going to leave without saying goodbye, were you?
You think I would do that?
No, I don't.
You're right. I was going to stop by the ranch house as I drove a herd into town.
Jumping the gun a little, aren't you? I mean, the market doesn't open till Monday.
Well, I figure jumping the gun, that's a good way to get a good price.
Mariano, Rico must have told you what we saw this morning. I know that you've got...
You are wrong. Oh, I lost a few cattle. Nothing serious. Trail fever. A long drive always gets a few that way.
A few? How many?
2, maybe 3.
You're not sure?
3. You want to count them? Compañero, you've always trusted me. You started me in this business. You think I would lie to you?
I'd hate to think so. I also hate to think I was wrong by giving you that first calf.
You are not wrong. Look. Do they look sick to you? Nick. Nick. I'm moving that herd to town. Please don't try to stop me.
All right. Maybe you're right. Maybe we were mistaken. Maybe it is just trail fever. I'll tell you what. I'll walk through the pasture and see if your cattle are fit. And if they are, you can move them on out.
Nick, anthrax.
I know what anthrax is, and so does Mariano. He wouldn't take his cattle with anthrax through our herd on his way to the market. He knows that an anthrax epidemic will spread through a ranch like a brush fire, killing 2,000-3,000 head in less than a week. keep the herd locked up in there.
Nick, those cattle have to be shot.
You're both wrong. You've no right to hold us here. It is this pasture that is killing my cattle. You have no right to shoot my cattle. Adelante, muchachos! Vamos!
Nick, if just one of those sick cattle get loose.
Close that gate. Mariano! We have a right to protect our cattle. If you try to move your herd out, we'll shoot to kill. I guess we'd all feel much better if you and your men would move into our bunkhouse. You'll be much more comfortable.
We do not want your hospitality. We are your prisoners.
Mariano, in a few days, we may be able to let you move your herd out. The anthrax may not spread.
This pasture of yours that is giving us the fever. There is a miasma here. Unless I can move the cattle, they will all be dead.
Mariano, no one knows how anthrax starts. Sometimes it stops as mysteriously as it starts. Anyway, I won't allow him to shoot your cattle.
Thanks, gringo. That's what you want to hear, isn't it? I once thanked you a long time ago for a calf you gave me. Then again, I thank you for this wonderful pasture at 1 cent an acre. Let me tell you something, gringo. I was stealing that calf. I didn't find it. That's the only way to get anything from the gringos. The gringos run everything, and all we do is say, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the right to breathe, for the right to move about, for the right to eat, to sleep. One of us gets a chance to get up there where the gringos are, to earn a decent place in life. The gringos find a way to knock you down.
I guess I was wrong. Heath! Put all the men around this pasture. Don't let a single steer loose. Shoot anyone that tries to break out. Shoot to kill.
Thought I saw you coming. Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Your mother says she wants everyone at the dinner table, right on time.
I'll be ready. Silas, where's Nick?
He's upstairs in his room.
Thank you.
Don't worry. Everything's going to be all right. I've seen anthrax come one day and disappear the next.
I've seen it when it hasn't.
Nick told me what happened this afternoon.
Yeah,
It's just horrible that it had to happen to Mariano. That hurt means so much to him.
I know.
He drove them over 1,000 miles, all the way from Mexico. All his dreams are wrapped up in them. Everything he wants to be.
Look, I know all about that. And I know if he loses that herd, he'll be right back to what he used to be. Now, is there anything else you want to tell me that I already know?
No, I guess not.
I'm sorry, OJ, I didn't mean it.
Silas, better make sure there's plenty of coffee tonight. I think we'll be doing a lot of talking.
I'll make sure.
Yeah?
I come in?
You're in. Anything wrong?
You know what's wrong.
Get to the point.
Nick, those cattle have to be shot. That's the way it's always done. That's the only way to do it.
I've given my orders.
I know you have. I passed it on to the men. But now, if you just let me say what I got to say, then I'll shut up. I can understand you're wanting to help Mariano.
You know, I knew Mariano a year before he was allowed to talk to me. He was 10 years old, so was I. He used to sit in the corner in my old clothes and watch his mother scrub these floors. Every day she came to clean the Barclay Palacio. If Mariano opened his mouth, she'd say, "Don't bother the senores." Well, finally, he was allowed to play with us a little bit. That is, as if he was respectful and called me Senor Nick. 2 10-year-old boys. Senor Nick. Do you know what that herd means to him? Do you? What if it was yours? Wouldn't you lie for it, steal for it, even kill for it?
I'm sorry, Nick. Like Mariano said, my brother's a good man.
Whether they brought it up from Mexico or caught it from some kind of miasma in our pasture doesn't really matter, does it? Either way, we can't let Mariano move his herd without risking an outbreak of anthrax among our own. Just like the one we had 5 years ago. How many head did we lose that time, Nick?
Close to 3,000.
As I see it, we only have 2 choices. Killing Mariano's cattle, which is the traditional way of handling the problem, or keeping them contained in the pasture until they die by themselves.
They're both so drastic. Isn't there something else?
Has anyone ever heard of vaccination?
Of what?
Vaccination.
Mm-mm.
It's a new technique they're experimenting with at school. It was developed by a Frenchman, Professor Pasteur. It's a new cure for anthrax.
Yes, I've heard of Pasteur and his theories.
Anything to it?
I don't know. Most reputable scientists seem to think it's all a lot of nonsense. At any rate, it's still just experimental.
But it works. I've seen it. Professor Hawthorne at school is experimenting with Pasteur's methods. He injects some of the anthrax germs into healthy cattle. Germs? Yeah. They're tiny organisms visible only under a microscope. Pasteur says they cause anthrax, and a lot of other things, too.
And you can't see him, huh?
No.
No. Something like elves and fairies.
I've seen it work.
Gene, I'm sorry.
Heath. Jean, dear, don't be angry with them. If they seem intolerant, it's just because they're not used to feeling helpless.
Don't worry, Mother. I'm not angry with him. I'm going back to the university tonight. His train leaving for Berkeley in about an hour.
So all of Mariano's cattle will have to die, one by one by one.
Take your men and leave us alone! Mariano! We don't want anybody killed. Now be sensible! You be sensible! We're taking our cattle out of here! ¡Móntense, muchachos! Mariano! We don't want anybody killed. But if you force it, we'll kill.
All right. Let's give up.
We will not give up. We'll fight to the end. Adelante, muchachos. No tengo miedo. Lo llevo como los hombres.
Did you hear what he said? Yeah, I heard what he said. He's gonna die fighting for less than 90 scraggly steers.
Mother.
Gene!
Professor Hawthorne, my mother, Mrs. Barker.
How do you do? How on earth?
I got to Berkeley at 4 this morning. I persuaded the professor to come
4
with me.
o'clock? Oh, good heavens, you must be tired. I'll get you some coffee.
Oh, it's all right, Mrs. Barkley. Eugene seemed to feel it was urgent.
Mother, Professor Hawthorne has a cure for anthrax. Right there.
It can work.
Can?
If the disease isn't too far advanced in the animals, it will work. Massive doses have cured anthrax before. I've seen it happen.
Is it safe?
As I see it, Mrs. Barkley, you have nothing to lose by letting me vaccinate those animals. And everything to gain.
Mother, Professor Hawthorne has worked directly with Professor Pasteur. Have faith in him. Have faith in me.
Follow me, please.
Mother, I can't ask Mariano to go along with this. Some experimental vaccine that nobody's ever heard of.
Well, I can. Mariano has no choice, and neither have we. Mariano! Mariano!
I can hear you. I can also shoot you. So be very careful.
I trusted you once. Now you must trust me. We may be able to save your cattle.
Save my cattle.
It's possible.
You let us move out?
Not yet, but if we can cure them, we'll let you move.
Cure them? There is no cure for anthrax.
Professor Hawthorne thinks otherwise.
Professor, what are you, a school teacher?
Yes?
You expect me to believe a school teacher has a cure for anthrax?
Tell him how it works, Professor.
Certainly. You see, I inject the vaccine into the animal with this syringe. Now, it's painless. From then on, healthy animals are immune from anthrax.
Immune?
Yes, they won't catch it from other animals.
Catch it from other animals? Why should they catch it? They don't get it from other animals. There is a miasma in that field. If I can move out the healthy cattle, they will be safe.
You see...
Look, you don't understand. The professor's trying to tell you that the disease is caused by germs. Tiny organisms too small to see without a microscope.
Mariano, what if we test it with some of our own cattle? Then we can see if it harms them.
What difference does it make to you, senor, huh? If you lose one steer, you have thousands.
All right, we'll pay you top price for your cattle. Now you have no risk in vaccinating them.
No, senora. The money is important to me, yes. But there is one thing more important. I am the first one of my people to drive a herd to the stock sale. And that you can't take away from me. However, there is one way. Prince Oxford.
No.
Good faith, senor, huh? Stick that needle into that $10,000 prize pool. And then I will believe in your good faith.
Heath, bring the bull out here. I don't usually make a request twice.
No.
Why not? You agreed.
I'm sorry, Senora. No. Your bull is very strong. The vaccine could be a needle full of water for all I know. If you use it out here and the bull does not get anthrax, it only proves that your bull is strong enough to survive a needle full of water. But put him in there, where the miasma is killing my cattle. Leave him in that part of the pasture. Then we will see if it works.
Well?
I'm sure it'll work, Mother.
Muchas gracias, señora.
Gracias, señor.
El toro está enfermo. La miasma de la lactosa.
You really expect that bull will live now?
Well, if we do lose him, we can say we took a chance to prove our good faith.
Muchachos, quiero hablar con ustedes.
The serum works. How long will it usually take?
I have seen dramatic recoveries within an hour.
What?
Can't tell.
Caporal. The bull is dead.
He's dead.
He is dead. Shoot my cattle! I cannot let them live if you sacrifice your praises! Put it down! Tira!
Look at them! Look at them, Mariano! They're not even listening to you! They're not as ashamed as you are. Put it down!
I'm sorry, senor. You're the one man in the world who ever treated me with respect, and I have lied to you twice.
He moves! He moves! He is alive!
Mariano and his next herd. May it be as rewarding as the one he sold today.
Gracias, senor.
To Mariano.
Good luck.
Mari, saludo, amigos.
Saludo.
I thought maybe you'd like to start your next herd with Prince Oxford's newest son. He's vaccinated, of course.
I smell that honeysuckle. night like this always reminds me of the girl I once met. A little place called Willow Springs. Her name was Jean. Jeannie Price. She had hair the color of that moon there.
Little Springs, that's down around Napa, isn't it? A little farming town.
Quiet, peaceful. Trees all around. That's how I met her, you know. Falling out of a tree.
Falling out of a tree?
Next to a church. She had climbed up to watch the dance that was going on inside, and she lost her balance. Landed right at my feet. I asked her if she'd like to dance with me, but thought her dress wasn't good enough. I did get to walk her home, though. And there was another big tree sitting right out front of her place. Had one of those chair swings hanging down from it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We sat there for hours and just held hands and talked. It's funny. I knew Jeannie for, just a couple of weeks, but it seemed like we'd known each other forever. Guess it always seems that way when you're only 18.
Did you ever go back and see her again?
No, I thought about it, but I just never had the time.
What was that?
Wolf? Nothing like I ever heard.
Must smell like wolf.
I better tie down that stallion before he breaks loose and takes the bunch with him.
I'll tighten down the stakes.
Easy. That's it.
You heard bad? I don't know. A wolf doesn't usually attack when there's a fire. Unless... We'll take a look at him. Take a look. The one that didn't sound like a wolf.
Rabbit?
Rabbit. I gotta get that cauterized quick.
Go ahead. Get to it.
How does it look, Doc?
They're deep, but I don't think I need to take any stitches. How quick did you cauterize it?
Right away.
Well, that's the main thing. In fact, a salve and this bandage is about all that I can do.
Doc, we rode all night to get here. There's got to be more.
There is no medicine that'll stop rabies. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet? What do you mean, not yet?
Oh, there's some talk in Europe of a serum. But so far, that's all it is, just talk. Now, the main symptoms are headaches and fits of rage. These will help with the headache.
But then you're saying there isn't anything we can do.
Just wait and hope.
Hope? Hope for what?
Rabies has a 60-day incubation period. If you're still alive after that, chances are you'll stay that way.
You know anyone that stayed alive, Doc?
No. But there have been cases on record.
60 days.
Want a drink?
No.
Listen, Nick, he doesn't know everything. We'll get home, we'll see Dr. Moreau.
Oh, come on, Heath. Let's not kid each other. The medical profession is run clean out of miracles. Besides, I don't want anybody at home to know about this.
Not even the family?
Nobody.
Nick, you're gonna need all the help they can give.
Help? For 60 days, I'll have my ups and downs. The next 60 days, I'm gonna die. I don't want the rest of the family dying with me. I want your word on that, Heath. Your word.
You've got it.
Is anything wrong with your soup, Nick?
What? Oh, no, nothing. It's fine, Mother.
Would you prefer something else?
No.
You know, I think he just got too used to that bullfrog stew of Heath's. Isn't that it, Nick?
Scorched to perfection over an open campfire.
Believe me, after 2 weeks of that, civilized cooking takes some getting used to.
Did I hear my cooking mentioned?
Not mentioned, my boy. Cursed.
Plain jealousy. Sorry I'm late. That new stallion kicked part of the corral fence down.
Did you get it fixed?
Partly.
Partly? What do you mean, partly?
Well, it had to be reinforced. The boys are working on it.
Oh.
That's quite a horse, Nick.
It'll be rough to break.
Yes, you know, considering that he's not broken, don't you think you paid a trifle too much for him?
Trifle too much. That horse is some of the best breeding in this state.
Well, I'm sure he'd sire a fine line, provided he doesn't have to be gelded.
Gelded?
Well, if you can't break him, that's a possibility, isn't it?
Are you trying to tell me I'm not a good judge of horse flesh?
Of course not, Nick. I'm merely trying
Nick Jarrett, if you don't like that stallion, you take him back. And the mare's with him.
Nick. What's the matter with him?
He's been acting like a stranger ever since he came back from that trip.
Well, I suppose it could have been my fault.
They jumped the fence.
Jumped the fence. Why didn't somebody stop him? Are you blind? That stallion's too valuable to be lost.
Oh, Nick, it was only an accident.
When I want your back talk, I'll ask for it.
know, Heath, once when Nick was 16 years old, he got trapped in a mine shaft. I was up in San Francisco studying law. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I started writing, and I didn't stop writing until I got home. Nobody had to tell me my brother was in trouble. I just knew it, the way I know now. You know, Heath, silence doesn't spare the people you love. Sometimes it hurts them worse.
There's nothing I can tell you, Jared. Nothing.
Come in. Oh, Mother, I was waiting for you.
We just got back from town. Silas tells us you're going to Vallejo.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the yearling sale wasn't until next week.
Well, I thought I'd go up a little early, look the stock over a little ahead of time, is all.
Oh.
I'll get my gear. I know. No sense of both of us going. I'm just going to be picking up a couple of head.
Well, I'll have Silas pack some food in your saddlebags.
Why, Nick? Because of what happened this afternoon?
I could have killed you this afternoon, Heath. You know that? I thought of it. For a split second there, I could have split your skull with the nearest rock. Next time, I just might do it.
Well, maybe there won't be a next time.
Oh, come on, Heath. We agreed not to kid each other, remember? Besides, that's only a part of it.
What's the other part?
The last few weeks of my life should count for something. I mean, besides cattle and horses and making money, it should count for something special. I don't know what it is. I know I gotta go look for it. Maybe it's something I passed somewhere along the way without noticing.
And if you don't find it?
Well, at least I've looked.
So you gotta go look. But where?
Anywhere. Willow Springs, maybe.
Willow Springs?
Yeah. Kind of like to see whether Jeannie's hair is still as yellow as ever. And you stick with that stallion here.
Silas, put the bags on your horse. Have a good trip, Nick.
Thanks, Mother.
Mother, where's Nick going?
I don't know.
When's he coming back?
I don't know that either.
Hi.
Hi.
Is your mother home? Well, I'd like to speak with her.
Mister, that's my swing.
Well, do you, mind if I use it for a minute? Afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon?
I'm, looking for a friend of mine. Girl named Jeannie Price. Does she still live here? Could you tell me where she does live?
Have you tried the saloon?
I don't think you quite understand, ma'am. Her family runs the dry goods store.
There isn't any. Prospectors lean more toward wet goods.
Prospectors? What about the farmers? This used to be a farming town.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Before they started mining.
Well, ma'am, I've come a long way, and... Well, I wonder if you know anybody that might tell me where I could find her.
Well, the ones I know don't live any place more than a few months. You might try the graveyard.
Graveyard?
Oh, about 7 years ago, right after the miners started coming, they had a typhoid epidemic. They say it almost wiped out the whole town.
I see. Thank you.
Hey, mister. I sure hope you don't find her.
whiskey. A bottle.
That'll be $3.
Take what you need.
Who's there? Get out of here! Hey, mister. Oh, mister. Do you think you can stand up? Come on. Come on, Trop. Come on.
You awake, mister? Mom told me to stay here and watch it till she got back from the store.
You're the one I saw at the door, aren't you? Ooh. Oh.
She said you wasn't to try to move.
She's right.
I'm watching you, mister. Mom. He's awake.
Oh, fine, Tommy. Now you go out and get some firewood. Go on. Morning. How do you feel?
I've had a lot of hangovers in my day. Whew.
You had more than a hangover. 2 men tried to rob you in the front yard last night.
Oh.
Hey, take it easy.
Did you,
It was Poe's. I was mending it. He's my boss. I work in the Chinese laundry. Look, there was no choice. The doctor's out of town.
funny, the last thing I remember was buying a bottle.
Are you hungry?
Oh, no.
Well, you got a bad gash on your head. Last night I wasn't sure you'd make it.
I'm much obliged for you taking me in, Mrs.
It's Miss Jenkins. Julia Jenkins. Tommy's my son.
My name is Nick Barkley.
I know. You did a lot of talking last night. You were delirious.
I've been a lot of trouble to you, ma'am. I'd like to pay you for it.
I'm used to trouble. But there is something you can do for me. I mean, if you really want to pay.
I do.
I've lived hard. Guess you can tell that. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. Tommy's father was one of them. I met him in a saloon in Tucson. He was a pretty talker. You know what I mean? A real pretty talker. But he had two things he didn't mention. Price on his head and a wife. He was hung when Tommy was a year old. Since then, I've been drifting. Taking whatever job I can get as long as it isn't in a saloon. Pretty soon I'll have enough money to take Tommy back to Massachusetts. To my folks' farm. He can grow up decent there. Make a good life for himself. But I want him to start even, like other kids. With a clean and proper name. I don't want him to get old enough to hear the whispers. That's why I'm asking you to marry me.
Marry you.
Oh, look. I know you don't wanna. I mean, I know what I am. I'm an ex-saloon girl. That doesn't change what I want from my boy.
Why me?
Because even a saloon girl can't shame a dying man.
Must have done a lot of talking last night.
Now look, it'll be a strict bargain. Your name for my care. I'll stay with you right to the end. I'll give you a decent burial, anything else you want.
Decent burial. thanks.
You said you wanted to pay.
Price is too high. Uh-oh. I still can't pay.
Yeah, I had to try. Guess I didn't expect you to. I'll get you some coffee.
Supper's ready.
Be right there.
When are you gonna let me try him?
Now, you know Nick doesn't want you riding half-broken stock.
Nick. A lot he cares. He didn't even say goodbye.
You shouldn't be up.
If I stay in that bed one more day, I'm going to sprout roots. No help. Work on getting my sea legs back myself. Which reminds me, where are my boots?
I'll get him.
I want to thank you for sewing my shirt. Looks almost like new.
It's a special stitch that Poe taught me.
Uh-huh. Well, now, will you look at this? All shined up. Boy, you sure are good to me.
They were kind of dusty, so I shined them.
Huh?
Shined your spurs, too.
Oh, look at those.
Want me to put your boots on for you?
No, not right now, Tommy. But I do want you to have these. Gotta have spurs to ride a cutting horse, you know.
A cutting horse?
Mine. I want you to exercise them for me. Will you do that? What's the matter?
Well, I ain't never rode a cutting horse.
Well, now, don't you think it's about time you learn?
Well, yeah, but... Well, who's gonna teach me?
I will, just as soon as I get those boots on by myself.
Honest, Mr. Barkley?
Honest.
You promise?
I promise.
Can I show him to Mr. Poe?
Oh, sure.
Mr. Barkley, you can use my swing.
He's never had a man around before. Means a lot to him.
Yeah,
Nick? Nick, what is it? Nick! What's the matter? Let me help you!
Nick! Water.
Heath, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want a straight answer. You know something about Nick you're not telling us. What is it? Heath, you can see what this is doing to us. You can see that it's tearing Mother and Audra to pieces. All right, then. Can you tell me this? Do you know where Nick is? I think so. Then you give him a message for me. You tell him that whatever trouble he's in, his family has the right to share it with him. That it's our duty to help him if we can, and it's his duty to let us, and that he doesn't have the privilege to change that. Do you understand? You tell him to come on home. Tell him Pappy says so.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Nick Barkley.
Ah, Miss Julia has told me about you. I am Paul Sien.
Yeah, she mentioned you, too. Told me about the Scholar's Gap and how you used to be a Taoist priest.
That was a long time ago. Now I am a laundryman.
A laundryman that reads Tennyson.
Life changes.
For all of us, I'm afraid.
Miss Julia tells me you have changed it most pleasantly for her and Tommy.
They've done the same for me.
Then all three have found rare gift.
Tennyson?
Lao Tzu.
Po, I left the last tub to soak. In the morning, I'll... Nick.
I came to take you home.
Oh, well, you needn't bother.
Well, it's kind of late for you to go wandering about the streets by yourself, isn't it?
Thanks.
Good night, Mr. Shen.
Good night, Mr. Barkley. A very nice meeting you.
Same here. See you tomorrow night.
Good night, Po.
Good night, Miss Julia.
All right, hold it right there, both of you. What do you want?
That wad of bills that's in your pocket. Now you just drop them back over your shoulder real easy like, and nobody will get hurt.
Julia? Julia? Julia?
Get a doctor, quick.
My turn to have a hangover.
How is she?
I can't save her.
You sure?
I wish I weren't.
How long?
An hour? Maybe less.
I'm right here, Julia. Right here.
one, haven't I? A real killer. Right.
Right.
Funny, I didn't feel a thing. Tommy. Nick, you take him back to my folks. Will you?
I promise.
Only one regret. A name. I didn't get him a name.
Yes, you did, Julia. Yes, you did. Is there a preacher in this town? A circuit judge?
He won't be back until next week.
Is there anyone that can marry us? You sure? This is very important to her.
I'm sorry.
Paul, as a Taoist priest, you do have the authority, don't you?
In parts of China, yes, but not here.
Could you perform a marriage ceremony? I mean, one similar to ours.
Yes, but it would not be legal.
That doesn't matter. What does matter is that Julia believes. Poe, she deserves to die feeling her son has a legitimate name.
Very well. Excuse me.
Julia, Poe's gonna marry us.
In my country, long ago, a wise man spent his life in search of truth. His name was Lao Tzu. He has said that if a man and woman pledge themselves with honor and sincerity, their spirits are one. For truth lies not in words, but in the heart. If you, Nick, and you, Julia, pledge with true hearts, I pronounce you man and wife.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Mrs. Barkley.
What do you mean so quick?
Well, I just sent a wire an hour ago. Oh, Tommy, this is my brother Heath.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi.
What'd you wire about?
That's about Tommy. I promised his mother I'd get him back to Massachusetts. And, well, I'd kind of like you to do it for me.
Oh, no, you take him. I don't like long trips.
Well, now you know I can't.
What do you mean you can't? Haven't you been counting? Boy, howdy, it's been 65 days, Nick.
You sure?
I've sweated every one of them.
What's he mean? What's he talking about?
I'll tell you what he's talking about, Tommy. He's talking about a long trip to Massachusetts, and I'm going to take you to that farm personally. Whoa! What? Oh, Tommy!